The Super Falcons, yes, the AFCON, women AFCON finals on Sunday after edging out South Africa in an interesting 2-1 victory. It had it all. It was a pulsating affair. There was grit, there was energy, there was passion, strength, and of course, lots and lots of sweat, and at some point, even blood. After all has been said and done, the Super Falcons have made it to the finals of the WAFCON coming up on Sunday, beating the current champions of Africa, South Africa. It wasn't very easy. It was actually very difficult. In fact, for the first time ever in this tournament, goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie's net was breached from the penalty spot. But at the end of the day, we got the victory and we got the ticket to the finals. I have with me here Pedro Peter. He was here on Monday. We are here together for another interesting time. You watched that game, Pedro. How did it pan out according to you?
Oh, well, we knew before now that it wouldn't be a walk in the park for the Super Falcons, and so it proved, because you know, though we did have the opening, we got the better of the South Africans. That was in the opening exchanges in the first 12-15 minutes. But later on, the South Africans, they counted the game down and played according to their strengths, you know, ball possession and all that. By halftime, they were edging us by the amount of the possession they had. So, but thankfully, just before halftime, exactly the 45th minute, I won't say we got lucky, because whenever we got the ball, what we did was just take it forward and try to just make something out of every move. And thankfully, a penalty, in fact, we were rewarded with the penalty when the South African defender actually handled the ball in the box. It wasn't her fault, actually. It was a cross from the Nigerian, and the ball struck her hand, her left hand. Yeah, so it wasn't her fault, but it is the rule of the game. Your hand touches the ball in the area, it is definitely a penalty. Ajibade stepped up and duly converted, though the South African goalkeeper Dlamini got a hand to it. She guessed rightly, but thankfully the shot was just, he had enough power to just beat her and into the net.
Shout out to the energy and strength of Ijami Lucy in that, though.
Oh yes, for
getting us that penalty.
Exactly. Just for her, just that doggedness, never say die, and she just actually had to put the ball across. You know, she was aiming for a cross actually. Then we just got lucky and got the penalty. So, but upon the resumption on the second half, and I don't know
what came upon the scene at your Hale.
I do not know, for a player of her experience. She's the one with the most. She's the one with the most. I don't know, the most experienced
at the back
player on the back line. So for her to do that, we weren't really in danger, so to say, because at least the man was covering the goalkeeper. At least she would have gotten there, even if she did not get there. At least the goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie will just spread herself, make herself big, at least just to narrow the angle for her to just probably make a shot, because that was always going to be the end product. But for Al-Ahly to do that in the full glare of the referee, so in fact, you cannot say, oh, this is injustice. No, it was a duly deserved penalty for the South Africans, and they took their own chance, you know, 68th minute, and they equalized. And when we thought everything would be going towards another additional 30 minutes, we just now this is what we call luck. Our second goal was luck, and you know,
I mean, we are just pushing the ball in the air. I think we are actually good at that, putting the ball in the air. We have guys who are strong with their head. You know, anything can even happen when you just put the ball up there, and it worked out in the end.
Michelle Alozie was not spectacular today. That has to be said. She was not spectacular in any way, shape, or form. But all those loop balls that she usually does, she actually pulled one in the area, and probably the two Nigerians who actually Abiodun and the other one, they probably confused the South African goalkeeper. So she moved with the momentum of the players, and
ignoring the ball.
Yeah, and the ball slipped past her, and just like that, even the South African defender trying to clear the line, it was just too late and all that, and that was just how we got our goal. It was also Michelle Alozie's first goal for the Super Falcons.
Super Falcons.
What's a way to score your very first goal, your maiden goal for the national team, but in a very, very crazy manner. Let me put it like that. But
these are goals I remember for decades.
Yes,
goals like this where, you know, winning goals. You know, for goals like this,
what we needed was let the ball get in.
Exactly.
And the ball did actually go in. So, on the balance of play, I won't say the Super Falcons were all that spectacular, but I think somehow they.
I think this is one game where, you know, not that we are taught football, but we had an opposition.
Yes,
we truly had an opposition.
Yeah, truly
the South Africans were knocking the ball on the ground.
Yeah, they could.
Michel Alozie was the offensive player there for South Africa on the left wing was causing so much damage for her.
They could play, they could defend, they could
also
pass.
You know, was not as spectacular as she has been all tournament. That her defense was breached. The goalkeeper conceded. Oluwatosin Demeni herself was shaky at some point. However, there was a force for Rasheedat Ajibade, the captain, scoring her first goal in this tournament.
Oh yes.
And you know, looking at this game, I know we have just one more game to leave the tournament. I mean, leave the trophy, and nobody actually cares how the tournament went at the end of the day. But didn't we look too shaky?
Well, any team who actually wants
the South Africans.
The South Africans, of course, we knew they were always going to be a match, and they actually did give us a match today. So, but one thing is that, okay, we've gotten one of the toughest oppositions out of the way. So I think whoever comes out of the Ghana Morocco tie, I think we can safely say, and I'm not actually trying to put the cart before the horse, but we can safely say Mission X is almost a near guarantee. You know, because the only team I dreaded coming into the tournament were South Africa, and they actually proved that they were one of the finest on the continent. They play good football. You know, everything from behind, from passing. You know, they could pass, they could attack, they could also defend, and all that. So, but it is nice to see, you know, the team on the balance of play. The South Africans edged it on balance of play, but I think we played a little bit with purpose. Probably maybe when going forward, even though it was difficult to see the pattern that we adopted, but. By and large, the thing is that you just get the job done, and we did get the job done. So we are in a 10th final in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. No other country on the continent has got into more finals than Nigeria. And for one little piece of information, we've never lost the final before. For the previous 9 times that we've been in the finals, we've always won. So this is looking like, okay, almost trophy in the bag, and now we have a brand new trophy. You know, just before
probably be the first country to lift that trophy so and get the new money as well, new prize money.
Yeah, $1 million, which is good.
All right, the least we'll be living with in Morocco, the least we'll be living with is $500,000, because you win, you get $1 million, you lose, you get 500,000, and this is the highest any team is ever going to get as far as history is concerned. Even for the losing finalist, if you lose, 500K is the highest ever that any losing finalist would ever get as of today, and $1 million is also the highest so far that the first place team would be getting. Now let's quickly have a short preview for the finals. We either play Morocco or Ghana. Let's start with Morocco. They were the ones who knocked us out at
in
the last
semi-finals,
at the last WAFCON. And I've looked at them so far in this tournament. Their captain Shabak, fantastic player. I think they have an upright team, strong in the air, good on the ground. You know, what do you think is going to come out of the Nigeria-Morocco game, should it happen?
Well, I've seen the Moroccans play several of their games for this tournament. Well, while I would say that they are still a force to be reckoned with, as far as top oppositions are concerned, I would like to say the 2022 team that they had is probably much more stronger than the 2025 edition. Probably because it's due to the change in coaching personnel, because now they have Jorge Vilda as a new head coach. You know, Jorge Vilda, if you do remember him, he coached Spain to World Cup glory in 2023, the one hosted by New Zealand and Australia just 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, so and of course we all knew what came out of the entire
controversy.
The controversy. Yes, you know, the coach himself and all that. So he left, you know, as part of the sweeping changes in the country's federation and
including the FA boss.
Yeah, so but he has found a refuge in Morocco and he has done well. He has taken them to the final, of course, which is the least they were expecting anyway, because the previous manager did that, even took them to the World Cup and they went as far as the knockout rounds, even got as far as, I think the quarterfinals, I think, at the last World Cup, which is really, really good, you know, for them. So in this particular competition, I know they will get the better of Ghana. They will.
Wow,
so,
you're sure?
Yeah, very, very sure.
I think so too.
The Ghanaians are not that.
I think they've been lucky to even get to where they are at the moment.
Yeah, the Ghanaians, I don't think they will be able to stand player for player.
The firepower
yeah,
of the
and
Moroccans.
especially Ghislaine Chabak, who has 4 goals and maybe looking to add more as she eyes another WAFCON top scorer. You know, she was the top scorer at the last one. Even though she scored 3 goals, but it was still enough for her to get the top scorer's gong. And this time around, it will just, you know, she might even start bad, you know, if care's not taken. So, but I see a Nigeria-Morocco final on Sunday, and with Nigeria actually shading it, and it will just do just about enough to come through.
All right, I know. I mean, I'm giving it to Morocco. I think you're also giving it to you're actually giving it to Morocco. I'm the one who hasn't mentioned that, but I think Morocco edged it. But let's say football happens and Ghana making it to the finals. West African derby, you know, Nigeria and Ghana, the rivalry and all of that.
Yes,
Even though I think we have a superior team, but any team that finds itself in the final is not there to joke. So, say we have a Ghana in the final, how do you think we should be approaching that game?
Well, I remember when this competition wasn't called the WAFCON, it was called the AWC African Women's Championship. Especially in the early years, you know, 98, 2000, 2002.
The Messi Akide years.
Yes.
Yeah,
Florence Amagbemi, Patience Avery, and the likes, and Nagumanu Chejine. So, we played Ghana in the very first competition final in Abeokuta here in 1998. We also played them in the final in 2002 in the one who said in Delta State, Warrior and Ogara, which we defeated them both occasions.
Now since
then, I don't think they've come back to, they've played the final in that long. You know, it's been that long. The last time they even got to the semi-finals was even when they hosted in 2016. You know, the one Nigeria also still won at their own backyard. So it's you know, something I don't know how to put it, but should the Ghanaians just find themselves here, because I would see that as a shock, as an upset, even though Ghana has their place in history when it comes to African women's football. But in this particular competition, it would be a bit of a shock, an upset if they do make it to the final, but that is just where their luck will run out, you know, because they will be found out. They will be found out. But it would be nice to see them, you know, replicate what their former, let us say, their predecessors did in 1998 and in 2002, where they got to the finals. But, only that they are still meeting Nigeria, and they will still get, not necessarily a spanking, but probably a 2-goal deficit will just be about enough.
All right, you know, lots of changes. Well, not exactly lots of changes, but we saw changes in this team today. Rasheedat Ajibade was not starting on the right. She was neither starting on the left, where we know she can play. She was somewhere in the middle. She wasn't exactly on that right flank. It was more of a Jamilusi, you know, going to take out those crosses. Why is Coach Madugu thinking so much with this team? Why is he thinking so much with this team?
There weren't any changes from the last side that you know, that started against Zambia, yes.
But I mean, so positioning.
Definitely, he knew that Desiree Ellis she's a tactical.
Of course, without a doubt.
And she would have studied that game. She would have watched and and he thought if he had gone that same approach, they'll probably have 1 or 2 antidotes for that particular formation. So probably just decided, okay, you come here, you go here, and also to limit the threats from the flanks for the South Africans, because they are pretty decent when it comes to wing play, and probably that was just what was playing on his mind, you know. For the fact that we are not able to have a potent striker, I don't know. Since
we don't,
I don't think we have a potent striker.
No,
Chiwendu Ihezuo has been good. She also had a shot on, let's say, nearly on target. That
she should have scored at the very beginning, if not for that last woman who failed to not to.
Ihezuo too had a shot, that the goalkeeper parried in about the 11th minute for a corner kick. So it
was the defender.
Yeah, it was actually
It was the Okoronko who was trying to put the ball into the goalkeeper's legs.
Yes.
Somehow the goalkeeper kept it from going in.
So like now we really do not have a focal point of, okay, this is our go-to person for the goals. You know, right now Oshoala is no longer the Oshoala of before.
Of course.
Ifeoma Onumonu, I don't know. She's like she's a squad space getter now these days. I don't.
She has never played in this tournament.
She doesn't play. I'm like, what is the need of taking her if she would not play? Even at the last WAFCON, she wasn't spectacular. Scored only 1 goal, I think, against Botswana, which is a very poor opposition, if you ask me. No offenses, but I don't know. But I think the team just does about enough. We've got a compact defense which can stand their own on any given day against the weak or the strongest of oppositions. But the thing is that we have to be a bit more coordinated. The midfield have to support the attack, and the attack, whenever they get the balls, it doesn't mean that you have to have 20 of the balls for you to actually make 1 or 2 count. It is when you have one opportunity and you even use it to score 2 goals. Let me just put it like that. Of course, we know it's impossible, but using one chance to make 2 opportunities, that is just how it works. We now, we have a potential poacher, a fox in the box, and all that. So I don't know. For the fact that anyway we are not playing a somewhat tough team in the final, though for the Moroccans they'll be buoyed by home support, and trust me, we've played games whereby the crowds were like scanty, maybe less than 1,000 or 2,000, but trust me, on Sunday where we'll play in Rabat, it will be...
It's even a final. I mean, people will come and watch that.
There will be a lot of persons that will come
with or without Morocco. It's just that
Morocco
will be an edge.
The Moroccans now, so that may probably...
If we are not playing Morocco, we are still going to have a different atmosphere.
Yeah, but
even though it won't be as great as having the Moroccans play.
But I would love to actually get a final with Morocco. It's not the case that I want, but something that we could actually remember and keep for the ages. Like, okay, we played this opposition and we did
a classico.
Yeah, a very classic final. So.
All right. Well, I mean, I think without a doubt, without questioning, both of us here will want to see the Super Falcons of Nigeria lift the trophy for the 10th time. And we do hope that, hey, going forward, even on the world stage, we can even do better than we've done in the past. We had a very fantastic 2023 at the World Cup, losing to eventual winners England. Yeah, I think it was England.
No, finalists. They got
finalists. They lost against Spain. Yeah, they lost against Spain, losing to eventual finalist England at that tournament. We didn't lose a game at that tournament. Going forward, we should be able to go past the quarterfinals and perhaps, who knows, even lifting the World Cup. It's all that, right? I guess so. But for now, we can only dream and do hope that later on in the future, this dream will come to pass. Unfortunately, time is not our friend. We'll be saying our goodbyes on this, in quote, emergency. We just have to bring this to you because, hey, the Super Falcons have made it to their 10th finals, their 10th African Cup of Nations finals. And like Pedro said earlier, every time they get into the finals, they win it. Let's hope that it will be different in 2025. A very big thank you to you, Pedro Peter, for being a part of this production. A big thank you to our producers for being a part of this and ensuring that things are going on smoothly. The biggest of thanks belongs to you out there, viewers, because like I always say, we are here because you are there. Stay out of trouble.